The cold wind of the mining moon scraped across the metal platforms like a blade. Floodlights flickered above the loading docks, casting long shadows that moved like living creatures. Workers were ending their shift, talking quietly, unaware that something strange was drifting toward them through the fog. Evan Holt, a human engineer, was walking alone along the outer walkway. His boots echoed on the steel floor. He loved this lonely path because it showed him the valley below, dark, silent, endless. Tonight, that silence felt wrong. Too heavy, too still. Then he heard it. A soft voice. Weak, trembling. Please have mercy. Evan froze. No one else was around. The voice didn't sound human. It sounded tired, hurt, scared. He stepped closer to the railing. The fog parted just enough for him to see a shape lying near one of the cargo pallets. Small, curled, shaking. It looked like a person, but the skin shimmered with pale silver light. Evan's heart pounded. An alien here? How? He moved slowly, his hands raised to show he meant no harm. When he reached the platform's edge, he saw her clearly. A female alien, thin and fragile, her legs twisted at an unnatural angle. She wore a torn suit with glowing symbols on the chest. Her eyes were bright violet, filled with pain. Please, she whispered again. I cannot walk. Evan knelt beside her. His breath fogged in the freezing air. She was trembling so violently that her fingers tapped against the metal floor. She looked like she hadn't eaten for days. Her ship, if she had one, was nowhere in sight. He had read stories about alien visitors. Most were dangerous. Some were friendly. None were supposed to be stranded on a remote human mining moon. Hey, Evan said softly. You're safe. I'm not going to hurt you. She blinked slowly, trying to understand his words. Her voice broke as she spoke. They will come. They will find me. Please help. The fear in her tone wrapped around Evan like a chain. Someone, or something, was hunting her. And judging by her injuries, they were close. He looked around. The fog swallowed the horizon. The distant lights of the mining camp felt too far away, too vulnerable. He knew he couldn't leave her here, not in this cold, not with unknown enemies searching for her. Before he could decide what to do, the platform trembled beneath his feet. A deep, distant rumble traveled through the ground, like something massive had landed far beyond the ridge. The alien woman's eyes widened. They found me. Evan swallowed hard. There was no time to think. He lifted her gently, surprised at how light she was, almost weightless. She winced, but did not resist. I've got you, he said. Hold on. He ran across the walkway, carrying her in his arms. The alarm lights suddenly flashed red across the mining facility. A wailing siren began to scream through the night. Evan didn't know who she was. He didn't know who was chasing her. He didn't know what danger was coming. But he knew one thing with absolute certainty. Tonight, humanity would face something far bigger than they imagined. And it began with a single alien woman begging for mercy. Evan pushed through the steel doors of the emergency wing, breathing hard. The alien woman in his arms felt even lighter now, as if every step drained more life from her. Her glowing skin dimmed with each passing moment. He laid her gently on a medical bed, but she grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. You must hurry, she whispered, her voice shaking. They will break your sky. Evan didn't understand, but her fear was real. He could hear the distant rumble again, closer, heavier, more violent. Inside the small infirmary, the old lighting flickered unevenly. Monitors hummed. Medical tools rattled with each tremor beneath their feet. The mining moon was steady as a rock, until tonight. Whatever was coming was not normal. Dr. Mara Ivers, a short, sharp-eyed human doctor, rushed into the room. Evan, what in the frozen void is that? She gasped, staring at the alien woman. I found her on the platform, Evan said quickly. She can't walk, and something is chasing her. We need to help her. Mara approached cautiously. This is first contact, she whispered. A real alien injured on our moon. But before she could continue, the lights went out. A deep hum rolled through the facility, vibrating through the walls like a distant thunderstorm made of metal and energy. A heartbeat later, every window flashed with a pale blue glow. Evan ran to the pane and looked up. Above the mining moon, tearing through the clouds, a massive triangular craft drifted slowly overhead. Its underside glowed with swirling blue rings, like giant eyes searching the surface. The alien woman on the bed trembled. They are the Krail Dominion, she said. They are hunters. I escaped them. They do not forgive. Mara's face went pale. Are they looking for you? Yes, the alien whispered. And they will destroy everything in their path until they find me. The mining sirens blared again. A robotic voice spoke through the facility speakers. All workers seek immediate shelter. Unknown vessel entering atmosphere. This is not a drill. Evan clenched his fists. Everything inside him screamed to run, to hide, to think about survival. But when he looked at the alien woman, weak and terrified, lying helpless on the medical bed, he knew running was not an option. She needed him, and humans did not abandon the helpless. Suddenly, a bright beam of blue light shot down from the ship, scanning across the landscape like a giant spotlight. It moved slowly, hungrily, sweeping over the mining structures. They're searching, Evan realized. And if they find you, they will take me back and kill anyone who protects me, she answered quietly. The power came back on for a brief second, then cut again. Screens flickered. Sparks fell from the ceiling as the energy wave passed overhead. The Krail ship was disrupting every system. Mara grabbed Evan's arm. We can't stay here. The med bay is too exposed. He nodded. We take her somewhere underground. Somewhere they can't scan. The alien woman groaned softly. You risk too much. Humans always risk too much, Evan replied. It's what we do. He gently lifted her again. Her head rested against his chest, her breathing thin but steady. They moved down the hallway, careful to avoid windows. The hum from the skies above grew louder, setting every pipe and metal plate trembling. The Krail ship passed directly over their facility, its shadow swallowing everything. The lights flickered a final time before complete darkness returned. Mara clicked on a small handheld light. This way, the old maintenance tunnels. They're deep enough to avoid most scans. But as they pushed open the heavy hatch leading below, something echoed behind them. A metallic crash, a hiss of steam, then footsteps. Multiple. Heavy. Evan turned slowly. Tall, armored figures stepped into the corridor, Krail scouts. Their armor glowed with the same blue patterns as the ship. Their eyes burned like cold stars. They moved with silent precision, scanning the hallway. The alien woman clutched Evan's shirt, whispering one trembling word. Run. And he did. He held her tightly and sprinted into the maintenance tunnel with Mara right behind him. The metal door slammed shut, but the pounding of the hunters followed almost immediately. The chase had begun, and humanity was now officially in the path of a cosmic predator. The maintenance tunnel swallowed them in darkness. Only Mara's small light cut through the heavy air, shaking with each step she took. The walls were narrow, covered in rust and old wiring that hadn't been inspected in years. The ground vibrated with every pulse from the Krail ship overhead, like a giant heartbeat hammering against the moon. Evan ran with the alien woman in his arms, careful not to bump her injured legs. Her breathing was shallow, almost fading. She held onto his jacket tightly, her glowing fingers trembling. Behind them, the heavy metal door shook violently as the Krail scouts slammed against it. Boom. Dust fell from the ceiling. Boom. Boom. They're breaking through, Mara hissed. They're not even trying to be quiet anymore. Evan's lungs burned, but he pushed forward. We need to reach Tunnel Section C. It leads deeper underground. And if it's collapsed like last year? Mara replied. Then we find another way, he said, forcing his legs to keep moving. The tunnel twisted sharply. Pipes lined the ceiling like old bones. The air smelled of oil, metal, and dust, familiar scents to workers, but suffocating in a moment like this. The alien woman finally whispered, her voice thin. You should leave me. Save yourselves. Evan shook his head. Not happening. They will not stop, she said. They never stop. He tightened his grip on her. Good. Neither do humans. Another explosion thundered behind them. The door had finally been blown apart. A distant metallic growl echoed through the tunnel. They're inside, Mara whispered, her face pale. Evan turned a corner sharply, almost slipping. The ground here was uneven and cold. The tunnel widened a little, revealing an old service platform. We can rest for 2 seconds, Evan said. No, the alien woman whispered. They smell energy. They smell fear. Mara snapped her fingers as a memory struck her. Wait, this tunnel intersects with the geothermal grid. If we can overload the heating line, we might block their path. That would explode half the corridor, Evan said. Exactly. A harsh metallic echo rang behind them. The scouts were coming closer. Their glowing armor flickered through the cracks of darkness like ghostly blue fire. No more time. Evan carefully set the alien woman against the wall. Stay with me, all right? Stay awake. She nodded weakly. He and Mara rushed to the control box on the wall. The panel was dusty, covered in old warning labels, but intact. Mara pulled out her multi-tool and began prying it open. Hurry, Evan said, glancing down the tunnel. Mara's fingers shook. I'm trying. Inside, wires sparked faintly. Mara cut two, twisted another, and jammed a conductive pin between circuits. What now? Evan asked. Now, she took a deep breath. We run. Because the wires inside were heating up, glowing hotter and brighter by the second. They grabbed the alien woman again and sprinted. Behind them, lights seeped from the panel, orange, then white, then boom. A roar of fire and pressure shot through the tunnel, chasing them like an angry beast. The shockwave hurled dust, metal shards, and flame behind them. Evan shielded the alien woman with his body as the blast threw him forward. They crashed into the ground hard. A ringing silence filled the air. Dust clouds drifted around them like slow-moving smoke. Mara coughed. Did it work? Evan turned back. A huge section of the tunnel had collapsed. Broken metal and burning wires blocked the path completely. No one, human or Krail, could pass through that. But the victory felt brief. The alien woman pointed weakly upward. They come from above. Evan's eyes widened. The Krail ship was lowering metal pods directly onto the mining grounds. Each pod split open like a mechanical flower, releasing more scouts. They were dropping forces from the sky, sealing every escape route. We need to get to the underground core facility, Evan said. It's deeper than anything on this moon. They can't scan that far. That's a 2-mile run in tunnels that may not even be stable, Mara warned. Then we run carefully, Evan said. He lifted the alien woman again. She stared at him with disbelief. Why do you help me? Evan didn't slow his pace. Because you asked for mercy. That's enough. For a moment her eyes softened, glowing faintly again. Ahead, the tunnel sloped downward like a throat leading into the unknown. Behind them, faint metal tapping resumed on the collapsed rubble. The Krail were digging through. They were coming again, and the humans had only one direction left. Down. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. The maintenance tunnel sloped downward like an old mine shaft, twisting left and right, as if trying to confuse anyone who entered. The walls were wet with condensation, and their footsteps echoed in strange patterns that made it hard to tell which direction danger might come from. Evan carried the alien woman carefully, adjusting her weight with every step. She breathed softly against his chest, her glowing skin flickering like a dying lamp. Mara walked beside them, holding the trembling light stick tightly, its beam weakening with every minute. For a moment, the tunnel felt quiet. Too quiet. Then the alien woman whispered, "We are not alone." Evan stopped. So did Mara. A distant metallic scrape echoed through the tunnel. Slow, sharp, deliberate. Evan's heartbeat hammered in his ears. They found another entry point. Mara whispered back, "But how?" There are only 3 entrances to the lower tunnels, and 2 of them were sealed last year. The alien woman lifted her trembling hand. The Krail do not need doors. They cut through rock. As if to prove her right, a faint blue glow appeared far behind them. First tiny, then brighter. A silhouette stepped into view. Tall, armored. Its eyes glowed like icy stars. A Krail scout. But this one was different from the ones earlier. Its armor was heavier. Its movement slower. More confident. Almost like a commander. Evan whispered, "Move." Now. They picked up their pace, but the tunnel narrowed ahead, forcing them to move single file. The cold metal grated under their boots. A strong wind blew from deeper below. Strange, since tunnels weren't supposed to have wind. Mara frowned. That means there's an open chamber ahead. She was right. The tunnel opened into a huge underground cavern. Massive support beams crisscrossed overhead. Old mining equipment lay abandoned. Rusty drills, cracked fuel tanks, dusty crates stacked in piles. A rusty rail track cut across the cavern floor. Evan set the alien woman down gently behind a large crate. Stay hidden for a second. We need to check something. She nodded weakly. Mara pointed to an old mining trolley sitting on the rails. If the motor still works, we can ride it half a mile deeper. Much faster than walking. Evan climbed onto it and tried the switch. Nothing. He opened the panel, blowing dust away. Dead. No power. Mara rushed to a nearby generator, brushing off cobwebs. This one might have enough battery for a jump start. But before she could open the casing, a deep metallic roar echoed through the cavern. The Krail commander had entered. Its blue light filled the chamber. Its heavy steps shook the wooden crates. It scanned the cavern slowly, its eyes glowing brighter whenever it detected sound or heat. Evan mouthed silently, "Hide. Don't breathe." They ducked behind equipment. Dust floated gently in the air, glowing faintly in the eerie blue light. Evan could hear the alien woman's ragged breathing even from a distance. The Krail commander stopped exactly where she hid. It turned its head sharply, scanning the crate she leaned against. Evan felt his entire body freeze. Mara whispered, barely audible, "It senses her energy's signature." The alien woman's fingers pressed against her chest, trying to dim her glow. But she was too weak. A faint pulse of silver light flickered from her skin. The Krail commander reacted instantly. It extended a long blade from its arm. Silent, sharp, deadly. Mara gasped. Evan didn't think. Didn't plan. He moved. He dashed across the cavern. Lunging at the commander with a broken pipe, he snatched off the floor. He swung with all his strength. Clang. The pipe smacked the alien metal armor. It barely left a dent, but it was enough. The commander turned toward Evan, blade raised. "Hey!" Evan shouted. "Over here." He ran toward the rail trolley. The commander charged after him, moving like a steel beast. Mara jammed 2 wires into the generator, sparks flying. "Come on, come on." The trolley lights flickered, then roared to life. "Evan, jump!" she screamed. He leaped onto the trolley just as Mara shoved the alien woman onto it. The trolley lurched forward, metal wheels screeching against the rusty rails, carrying them deeper into the darkness. The Krail commander sprinted after them, its claws tearing sparks across the track. It was gaining fast. Too fast. Then the rail curved sharply. The trolley shot into the black. The commander lunged. Its claws scraped the back railing. But then the curve carried the trolley out of reach. The beast vanished behind the tunnel wall as the tracks plunged downward. They were safe. For now. The alien woman leaned against Evan, her voice trembling. "You risk your life again for me." Evan exhaled shakily. Humans don't leave anyone behind. Her silver eyes softened with something like admiration. But before relief could settle, a new sound echoed from deep ahead. A rumbling. A vibration. Something big. Something awake. And it wasn't human. The trolley rattled deeper into the unknown, its old wheels screeching against the metal rails. The tunnel grew wider, the ceiling disappearing into darkness so thick it felt alive. Cold air swept across them like the breath of something sleeping deep below. Evan held the alien woman close, keeping her steady each time the trolley hit a bump. Mara sat on the other side, gripping the control lever tightly. Her eyes stayed locked on the tunnel ahead, searching for anything that might go wrong. The faint rumble they heard earlier grew louder. The rails vibrated. A distant mechanical thud echoed like a slow heartbeat. "What is that?" Mara whispered. Evan didn't know, but every instinct in his body whispered danger. The alien woman opened her eyes slightly. "We are entering a forbidden zone." Mara frowned. "Forbidden by who?" "By your miners," she replied weakly. "And by the Krail." Evan's grip tightened. "The Krail avoided this place?" She nodded. "It is old. A machine from before your time. Before mine. It was built to protect this moon, or destroy it." Mara's voice cracked. "What kind of machine?" The alien woman did not answer. She didn't need to. A massive cavern suddenly opened before them. An underground hall big enough to hide a city. Stone pillars stretched up into the darkness. The trolley's small headlamp revealed rusted catwalks, broken cables, shattered control towers. And at the center, a giant metal colossus sat curled like a sleeping beast. It had 6 legs, a dome-shaped back, and glowing ports that flickered like dying stars. Thick armor plates covered its body, marked with symbols from an ancient mining corporation long forgotten. Mara gasped. The Titan-class excavator. "I thought these were all decommissioned." Evan stared up at it. The machine was at least 70 meters tall. Built for tunneling. Built for destruction. Why is it still here? Evan whispered. The alien woman shivered. Because the miners feared waking it, and the Krail feared controlling it. As if hearing her words, the Titan's ports glowed brighter. A deep metallic groan filled the cavern. It was waking. Suddenly, a crackling sound echoed behind them. The Krail commander had found another entrance. Its blue armor glowed as it stepped onto a high catwalk overlooking the cavern. Its cold eyes locked onto the trolley below. Mara's voice shook. "Evan, the track ends soon." He looked ahead. The rails dropped off into a maintenance pit. "We need to jump," he said. Mara grabbed the alien woman's arm. On three. Boom. A blue energy blast struck the wall beside them, sending chunks of rock flying. The Krail commander raised its cannon arm again, aiming to kill. Evan pulled the alien woman close. "Jump now." They leaped off the trolley just as it reached the edge. The trolley flew over the pit and crashed somewhere below, shattering into metal pieces. Evan hit the ground hard, rolling to protect the alien woman. Mara landed nearby, coughing from dust. The commander roared from above, firing another blast. Stone rained down in chunks. Then the Titan-class excavator fully awoke. Its dome lit up with burning yellow light. Hydraulic joints hissed. Metal plates shifted. The cavern floor trembled like an earthquake. A voice crackled from its ancient speakers. "Primary directive, remove hostiles. Protect surface colony." Mara gasped. "It still follows old mining defense protocols." The Krail commander fired at the Titan. The blast hit the armor, but the machine didn't even flinch. Instead, it turned its massive head toward the catwalk. A laser cutter the size of a vehicle locked onto the Krail commander. Evan grabbed Mara and the alien woman. "Run." It's targeting anything not registered as human. They sprinted across the cavern floor as the Titan fired a beam of searing heat. The catwalk exploded, metal melting like butter. The Krail commander fell but caught the edge with its claws, clinging on. Evan ducked behind an old drilling tower. "Mara, is there any way to shut that thing down?" "Maybe the control core," she yelled. "But it's on the Titan's back." Evan stared at the giant metal monster slowly rising to full height. Its legs slammed into the ground with enough force to shake dust from the ceiling. "That's suicide," he muttered. The alien woman touched his arm weakly. "You saved me. Now I will help save you." Her silver glow strengthened slightly. She looked at the Titan with determination. "I can guide you," she whispered. "The machine will listen if a human commands it." Evan exhaled hard. His heart pounded. Humans didn't run from impossible missions. Humans didn't abandon allies. He stood up slowly and looked at the giant machine towering above them. "All right," he said. "Let's go wake the monster properly." Behind them, the Krail commander climbed back onto the wrecked catwalk. Ahead of them, the Titan turned its glowing eyes toward the cavern floor. And Evan stepped forward into the center of two giants ready to destroy each other. The cavern shook again as the Titan-class excavator straightened its massive legs. Dust cascaded from the ceiling. The air vibrated with deep mechanical growls, as if a mountain had suddenly come alive. Its glowing eyes scanned the darkness, searching for threats, searching for targets. Evan felt the ground tremble beneath his boots as he stood between two monsters. The ancient human-built Titan, the relentless Krail commander. One was a machine from humanity's forgotten past. The other was a hunter from a ruthless alien empire. And he was trapped in the middle. Mara grabbed his arm. "Evan, think. This isn't a miner's toy. It levels entire tunnels." "That's why we need it," Evan replied. "It's the only thing strong enough to stop that Krail commander." The alien woman leaned against a metal pillar, breathing hard. Her glow flickered faintly. The Titan recognizes human presence, but it is blind to friend or foe. "We must reach the control core." Mara stared up at the massive dome. "That's on its back. How are we supposed to climb that?" The cavern boomed again. The Krail commander leaped down from the broken catwalk, landing with a metallic thud that cracked the rock beneath him. Sparks flickered off his armor. His claws extended, glowing blue. He growled, the sound metallic and cold. He had one goal. Take the alien woman. Kill the humans. The Titan's sensors snapped toward him. Its speakers crackled. Hostile entity detected. A beam of red light fired from its head cannon, blasting a deep scar into the stone where the commander had stood. The Krail dashed aside with inhuman speed. Mara shouted, "Evan, that thing will destroy this whole cavern trying to hit him." Evan didn't hesitate. "Then we control it before it controls us." He lifted the alien woman carefully. She pushed his hands away gently. No, you two must climb. I will stay hidden. If they capture me, the galaxy burns. But if you fall, humanity loses its only weapon here. Evan didn't like it. Not at all. But her energy was fading. Carrying her up the Titan's armored plates would be impossible. He exchanged a tense glance with Mara. All right, he said. Stay low. Stay quiet. He turned to the Titan. The machine roared as its legs repositioned, shaking the cavern floor with thunderous echoes. Steam hissed from its joints. Massive claws dug into rock. Mara swallowed hard. We're actually doing this, aren't we? Evan smirked weakly. Yeah, and I hate heights. They sprinted toward the Titan. The giant machine didn't seem to register them as threats, but the vibrations from each step felt like standing inside a storm. Behind them, the Krail commander charged. Boom, boom, boom. His footsteps were like falling boulders. The Titan swung a gigantic arm, smashing it into the ground. The shockwave rippled across the cavern, forcing the Krail to dodge. Stone shards exploded everywhere. Mara screamed, move, before something crushes us. They reached the Titan's rear leg. It towered above them, thick as a fortress column. Using ladders built into the design, they climbed quickly, faster than they ever climbed in their lives. Every rung was cold steel. Every breath was dust and fear. Halfway up, the Titan's head jerked sideways, tracking the Krail commander again. The machine stepped forward. The leg they were climbing shuddered violently. Mara slipped. Evan lunged and grabbed her wrist before she fell. Got you. She clung to the metal bar, breath shaking. I'm okay. Keep going. Below them, the Krail commander used its claws to climb the stone wall, scaling it like a monstrous insect. Its glowing blue eyes locked onto their position. He's coming after us. Mara shouted. Evan climbed faster. Then we reached the control core first. They clambered onto the Titan's back, landing on a broad metal plate. The surface was uneven, filled with vents, heat pipes, and old control panels. Faint steam hissed from gaps. Mara pointed forward. There, the central hatch. A round door sat in the middle of the Titan's back, sealed with thick bolts. Suddenly, thwang! A blue energy bolt struck the metal inches from Evan's head. The Krail commander had reached the top of the cavern wall and was now leaping toward the Titan. Open it! Evan shouted. Mara worked frantically on the bolts. It's rusted shut. The Titan swung one of its gigantic arms in another attack, causing the entire structure to tilt. Evan lost balance for a second. Mara screamed. The Krail commander landed on the Titan's shoulder, claws digging deep into the metal plates. It began climbing toward them, glowing eyes burning with hatred. Evan grabbed a loose pipe and ripped it off. Buy me time. He swung at the approaching alien, sparks showering the Titan's back. The Krail blocked the strikes effortlessly, pushing forward. Mara finally gasped. It's open. Evan swung one last time, knocking the commander off balance. Inside, he yelled. They dove into the open hatch just as the Krail launched. The hatch slammed shut, locking the monster outside. Inside the Titan's core chamber, glowing cables pulsed like arteries. Dim lights flickered. A central console sat in the center. Mara rushed forward. Evan, this thing is old, but functional. The alien woman's voice echoed faintly from below, through the comlink on Evan's belt. Listen to me. The Titan responds to human authority. You must command it. Evan placed his hand on the central panel. The Titan's voice boomed inside the chamber. User identified. Human. Awaiting command. Evan closed his eyes. Then he said 5 words that changed their fate. Protect the alien. Destroy the hunter. The Titan's eyes outside blazed brighter. And for the first time in centuries, a human heart controlled a giant. Inside the Titan's control chamber, the dim lights glowed like fading stars. Evan kept his hand on the warm metal panel, heart pounding. The machine's deep voice echoed through the chamber. Command accepted. Engaging combat mode. Outside, the cavern trembled as the Titan-class excavator woke fully, no longer confused, no longer half asleep, but alive with purpose. Hydraulic engines roared. Massive gears locked into place. Ancient armor shifted with heavy clicks that echoed like thunder rolling underground. The Krail commander, clinging to the Titan's outer shell, paused. It knew. It felt the machine's power rising. And for the first time, the hunter hesitated. The Titan rises. The Titan slammed one giant leg into the stone, creating a shockwave that rippled across the cavern. Dust and rocks rained from the ceiling. Blue sparks burst across the Krail commander's armor as it dug its claws deeper into the Titan's shoulder. The machine's speakers boomed. Hostile threat prioritized. The Titan swung its massive arm, trying to knock the Krail free. The commander leaped across the machine's back, landing dangerously close to the hatch where Evan and Mara hid below. Mara gasped. "Evan, he's going to cut through the hatch." Evan stared at the vibrating metal. The Krail's claws scraped across the outer surface, creating sparks that lit up the chamber. One more strike, and it would break through. "We need to distract the Titan," Evan muttered. "Make it force him off." He slammed the command panel. "Titan, shake him loose." Outside, the machine twisted its torso sharply. Gears screamed. Metal groaned. The Krail lost balance for a second, but stabbed its claws deeper to stay attached. Evan cursed. "He's too strong." Then Mara shouted, "Evan, look!" On the cavern floor below, glowing faintly behind a broken pillar, the alien woman stood. Weak, trembling, barely able to walk, but standing. Her silver glow pulsed like a small star trying to ignite again. She lifted her arm toward the Titan. "Human, you do not fight alone." A wave of soft silver light spread from her palm, connecting with the Titan's sensors. The machine paused for a split moment, as if receiving a forgotten signal, a language older than steel. Then the Titan roared, a roar that shook the earth. Its entire body lit with renewed energy. The Krail commander sensed danger and leaped away. But the Titan was faster. One giant metal arm shot upward and grabbed the alien hunter midair. The claws screeched against the Titan's grip, but the machine tightened its hold with unstoppable mechanical force. The commander struggled, claws glowing blue, striking the Titan's armor again and again. Sparks exploded. Metal dented. But the Titan did not release. Evan whispered inside the chamber. Yes, finish it." The Titan spoke. Threat neutralization, complete. It slammed the Krail commander into the cavern floor with earth-shaking force. Then again, and again. The last strike cracked the hunter's armor, sending blue shards flying. The commander collapsed, lights dimming. Its body twitched once, then fell still. The cavern went silent. Only the Titan's engines hummed. The aftermath. Evan and Mara climbed out of the hatch carefully. The Titan stood motionless now, awaiting new orders, its battle fury settled. The cavern smelled of dust, metal, and the faint burning scent from shattered alien armor. The alien woman collapsed to her knees as they approached. Evan rushed to her, catching her before she fell. You shouldn't have stood," Evan whispered. "You're hurt." She smiled weakly. "Your bravery gave me strength." Mara knelt beside them. "The Krail commander is dead. Their ship can't track you anymore." The alien woman closed her eyes, relief washing over her face. "Then you have saved more than me. My people, my entire world, will live because the Krail failed today." Evan helped her stand again. "You're safe now. You're with humans." She touched his chest lightly. Humans risk themselves for strangers. That is a rare thing in this galaxy. The Titan lowered its massive head, as if bowing to them. Evan chuckled. "Guess we made a new friend too." Mara wiped dust from her face. "We need to send a message to the surface. They'll want to know what happened." Evan nodded. "We will. But first." He looked at the alien woman. "Let's get you out of these tunnels." A new beginning. Hours later, they emerged onto the mining surface. The sky was quiet. The Krail ship was gone, its forces destroyed, its power broken. Workers gathered around them, whispering in awe. The alien woman stepped forward, leaning on Evan for support. Her violet eyes glowed softly. "I will tell my people," she said, "that humanity is not small, not weak, not afraid." She looked at the sky, voice strong despite her injuries. "I will tell them the truth, that humans protected me when no one else would. They stood against the Krail. They fought without fear." Her hand rested over her heart. "And I will tell them, humans are worth trusting." Evan smiled. "And we'll tell our people the same about you." Mara pointed toward the distant horizon, where faint dawn light began to rise. "Look, the sun's coming up." The alien woman whispered, "A new dawn." Evan nodded slowly. "For all of us." Above them, deep underground, the Titan-class excavator powered down, returning to its ancient slumber. But now, It slept guarding allies, not enemies. And humanity's legend had begun. The night a human engineer, a brave doctor, and a wounded alien stood together and changed the fate of two worlds. HFY forever.